It's time for the KickAround, the Ticket's weekly show all about soccer. 2 hours of HSOs on the clubs, leagues, and tournaments of the world's game. It doesn't matter if you're new to the sport, don't worry. This is the Ticket. We're just kicking it around. Now, here's our two soccer nerds, Andy Swift and Peter Welton.
They've got good presence in these situations, Hull. Oh, that's dangerous, McBurney! And it must be for Sheffield Joy! And are Manchester United about to be humbled by the Humber? An extraordinary start for the newly promoted side.
Not getting off on a good foot this season, Mr. Dixon. Welcome to the KickAround. We're back in the studio for another show for Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket, where you, the good P1, sits around and talks soccer and all that implies. Hello, I'm here. And to my left, but to your right, with great enthusiasm and excitement, it is the world's most interesting man, Andy Swift.
Peter, welcome back to our studios. We missed you last week.
Do you like this better than me being at home?
Yeah, there's more energy. I feel there's more energy. Yeah, it's not the same when you're not there, but
I'm readjusting my position.
Yeah, I'm seeing that you're getting used to being in a studio again and just being behind a microphone and a chair. So, but hey, I want to Dixon give him a shout out for actually using that goal call, because he could have easily used the first goal of the season, which is his team, right? Arsenal.
No, he did the right thing.
And that was brilliant. Yeah.
No. That was very good. Yes, a Hull scoring and eventually defeating my Manchester United today.
The eventual champions.
In an original. Yes, I just want to remind everybody. Last week, Andy picked United to win the league.
Sure. It's a long season.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go. Get that one out of the way.
We will talk. Yes, the Premier League started yesterday with Arsenal facing off against Coventry. There were games today. There are games tomorrow. Corby's new mighty Fulham plays Chelsea on Monday, so we'll get into all that stuff. There are two new soccer documentaries out, and I think we need to discuss them because I know one of them has a level of interest. The other one I can't access, but I'm dying to see it. So we'll talk about Mourniho and Pep and all the off-season drama and moves around the global transfer window and storylines that happened while we were away. Daniel Robertson will join us to dig into Serie A as they get kicked off here. And I'm going to nerd out on a referee handbook before the end of the show.
Yes,
so we'll do that all today. All right, let's do the most serious and important of all the soccer segments. All right, so right off the bat, while La Liga has started its season, and there are games that were the middle of this week and last week that did this very weird, quirky thing. And I would think this would drive some of the teams in this league nuts. But the big teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid were essentially given a bye week for the first week because they were burdened with too many World Cup players.
Well, Spain won the World Cup. They went farther than anybody, right? Except Argentina, obviously, who they played in the final. And those teams, just about every player plays on a national team, so it's okay.
All right.
I find it interesting.
Well, it is a weird little quirk, no doubt about it. Atletico Madrid has a game tomorrow. Barcelona plays tomorrow, and Real Madrid kicks off this afternoon.
And everybody else already played a game, is what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. There was probably 4 teams, I think, or there was some division of teams that got a bye week, and so they'll play their first round games in a few days or something.
All right.
But so there you go. Let's see. The German Super Cup final was being played against Bayern Munich and Dortmund on the other screen over there, and
on USA Network, no less.
Yeah, and Serie A. We'll talk with Daniel here in a little bit. We'll catch everybody up real quickly on the FIFA drama with Mr. Infantino because
Have you sent in your ballot yet? No, you haven't voted yet.
No,
okay.
I haven't.
Okay.
In fact, I haven't received my ballot yet. I'm
All
waiting for that to show up in my Gmail.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. The vote is not till March. Now is when you can write your own letter of support or lack of support.
Boy, those are coming out fast and furious, aren't they?
So I was going to have you written your letter yet?
I'm undecided.
Okay.
I'm still figuring out.
Because you're the Peter Welpton of the Manifesto.
Right.
Remember?
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So
boy, talk about callbacks.
If you write a letter, people will know, oh, yes, this is Welpton of the Manifesto.
Only the purest KickAround P1 remembers the Peter Welpton Manifesto.
Yeah. So I'm sure they want to know what you have to say.
But I have a headline here. FIFA's Kevin Lamore sacking deeply troubling. So a guy who was a senior executive, his name Kevin Lamore, decided to publicly criticize Infantino with the fallout of the whole sell-off part of the World Cup thing.
Yeah, he was the chief operating officer.
And he got the boot this week. And everybody's like, why?
Did he fail his performance review? Is that what happened?
Maybe he had a HR violation.
Did he have warnings and then?
No, probably not.
Okay.
I'm sure he wouldn't put on a PIP or anything.
Okay.
No, Infantino said, you're either with me or you're against me, and he booted him out.
Yeah, man.
And you can see where all this is going, can't you?
Where is it going? Tell us.
He's going to win it. He's going to still be the president of this when this all is said and done.
So he's going to, you are going to be, one can still get away with something like this in this day and age at the FIFA level.
I think that's
after the last purge.
This is kind of a growing trend across many different parts of our culture these days. So why not FIFA?
Sure. Yeah.
Now, so we'll keep everybody posted. There's really not much more news than that, but I just thought I would throw in the fact.
No, the news is that, as we explained on the last show, it's really going to come down to Asia's votes.
It is.
And I've seen now articles. They probably listen to the show.
Probably.
I've seen articles where people are now saying that. I'm like, they must have listened to the
We have an
KickAround.
Indonesian KickAround P1 on the downloading the pod.
Well, no, some articles have come out from Europe saying, you know what, it's all just going to come down to how Asia votes and how those countries divide themselves. So.
Now, the other thing, did you hear the idea that Infantino threw out about putting together a U15 World Cup that is all 200 whatever nations participating?
212.
And holding it at Disney World?
Yes, it's not going to happen now. But they mulled it over.
Okay. Is that really such a bad idea?
No, no, I don't know, man. It's an interesting idea, but it's a huge. It just becomes a commercial property. So if it's done right, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But if it's not done right,
have you ever played down there? It's awesome.
At Disney?
At Disney in Orlando.
Yeah, it's a little humid, but okay.
Well, the facility
is
I've baller.
Yeah,
I'm
been
sure
part
you've
of
done.
events.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And before we finish up headlines, I do want to inquire with you because I haven't taken your temperature much about Liverpool this season. You've been
about 98.7.
You've been so kind of touchy about talking about club soccer until the last week that I've avoided trying to approach you about
ask
Liverpool.
away, Peter. Now's the time.
Well, because this week we've got two stories going on related, one Liverpool and one Chelsea, which is Liverpool has apparently sold off a percentage of
Amazon,
the club, to a consortium that includes Mr. Bezos.
Okay, not just Amazon. Okay.
But did you see the part in the clause that they're talking about?
Yeah.
I think that says that if they want to buy the whole thing,
they can.
They can't stop them from doing it.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Why would? Because there's probably a certain price that triggers that. And
it was like $8.2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a price that they'd be stupid to turn down.
So you, Mr. Liverpool fan P1, how do you feel about this?
I don't have discontent with the Fenway Sports Group owning it, and I think it's kind of cool because I'm a Red Sox fan. They're both owners, so it's been fine. And you're sometimes, if things have gone halfway okay, you're kind of scared of change. Like if the things were like going lousy for Liverpool all these years, I'd have more trepidation, or I'd have less trepidation about it. But I don't know. Change is sometimes scary, Peter.
Yeah, I would think if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'd be a little worried about the machine that had helped us get back to where we are suddenly going, okay, we've done our job. Now we're going to take our money and run, which is the whole point to this investment thing to begin with.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. That's a reminder of that right here.
Well, then meanwhile, in London, Chelsea, Todd Boehly and Mr. Walter.
Yeah, Boehly might be out or will be out, right?
So this Walter guy, he's the one that sold off the Laker part last week and made all that money, and everybody, apparently he's under suspicion and review from the government. Yeah, he's got problems.
Under investigation is what you call it.
Thank you. He's being investigated for, shenanigans, and I think he's trying to divest as quickly as he can.
He has to, because it's all tied into what he did wrong. He needs more cash to make that better.
Tell us what he did wrong.
He borrowed money the wrong way, so now to pay that money back and make it all right, he needs cash of his own. Therefore, he needs to sell Chelsea and get cash. Or to get cash.
So in the midst
that's
of
like the 3 second.
So in the midst of trying to overhaul the entire team with a new manager and another round of player sales, now they've got this to contend with, which maybe getting Todd Boehly out of the scene.
Yeah, but Boehly wasn't as involved anymore anyway. It was, so it's those other guys. They're going to stay.
We don't have a Chelsea fan to inquire about their temperature on how they feel about this development. I would think just removing Todd Boehly out of the picture completely would make people feel better about the whole thing.
But again, we've discovered that it wasn't him that was the issue. It's the majority ownership group. They're the ones making the call on the soccer stuff.
Yeah, but they're not the ones that are continuously shown on NBC in the stands looking like they have no idea what they're watching.
Right, but ultimately it's not Boehly that's making those dumb decisions.
And suggesting an all-star game for the Premier League.
Yes, right. I think Chelsea fans don't care about that stuff. They just want the right players to be purchased. And it's the other guys, the guys not selling that are doing that are making those decisions. That's the issue.
Sad news, Andy. Before we go.
What?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's staying.
Has essentially announced he's going to retire at the end of this season.
Oh, I thought the sad news was that he was playing one more year, not retiring right away.
He's now married to Georgina.
Yeah, long-time girlfriend.
No, I think didn't they have an actual wedding here recently?
Long-time girlfriend.
Oh, long-time girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said long time ago they got married.
No.
And she's a baby mama too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's decided he's going to hang it up.
Okay.
Who will retire first from the game, Ronaldo or me?
Oh, I thought you were going to say or Messi, because
Messi.
Messi's also announced that he might just hang him up.
For sure. So
he won't. He'll stay.
Okay. You okay with this? I know he's your favorite player in the whole world.
Ronaldo?
Yeah.
No, he's your favorite player. Don't quit deflecting. He wore the Man United jersey, not the Liverpool jersey.
Come on, you don't want to see Mexico versus the Marshall Islands at Field 5 in Orlando in a under 15
Oh, we're
World
going
Cup?
back to that again? No.
Very good. Okay, there's some brief soccer headlines. Okay, when we come back, we'll dig into what everybody wants to talk about. The Premier League returns. Arsenal victorious yesterday. Other teams victorious, some teams not. We'll dig into all of it next here on the KickAround. There's more soccer documentaries out and about, and we'll talk about at least one of them here in about 30, 35 minutes or so here on Ye Old KickAround. Well, congratulations, Andy. Season 13 of the show, and we are now back into yet another Premier League season.
Lucky 13, Peter. This is our year.
Which one? Who's our? You, me?
The KickAround.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh.
What is that? What are we shooting for?
The best year ever.
Okay.
We're topping year 12, which was the prior best year ever.
Now, it did kick off yesterday with Arsenal hosting Coventry. Coventry back in the Premier League for the first time in, I think it was 25 years. Super Frank Lampard at the helm.
Yeah. Back when they were in the first division and always rotated between 15th and 17th, year in and year out.
And Arsenal and Arteta doesn't have Guimaraes because he picked up an injury in the last preseason, or the Community Shield.
Yeah, Arteta really hamstrung heading into this game with his roster.
Yes.
However, were they going to find their way?
Lewis Skelly got the start, and this is a weird one because that's a guy that we started hearing rumors that they may sell off to Chelsea and United or somebody. I'm like, why would you sell that kid? He's a superstar.
Yeah.
And then he started and he played really well yesterday, and they mowed over.
And Guimaraes didn't.
Well, he didn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they end up.
That's what I'm saying, but that's, he played, the other one didn't.
Oh, and they still, yeah. And ended up winning that game 3-0 going away. And Arsenal was off to a fine start.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if I have read 30 season previews, the number of times Arsenal has not been picked, and I picked them to win the league, has not been picked, was probably less than 5 out of 30.
Agree. Arsenal, and by the way, the game was riveting. It was just...
Why'd you do air quotes when you said riveting?
Yeah. Arsenal is such the safe pick because typically when you're picking Premier League, back in the City days, it was easy to pick City. But it was fun to pick somebody else because there was always the chance that it could be Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal. Somebody would have a chance. This year, because the other teams, the other big teams that typically have a chance to win, they're under new management. So there's so much uncertainty in how long will this team take to get together and this team and that. So by default, people are just picking Arsenal because they're the champions. They're the best team on paper, I guess.
I think they're better on paper this season than they were
last. They are. They're playing with confidence and all that. But it's just too easy a pick. That's why I didn't pick them. I picked United because to me, they're the ones that had to have.
How's that look today?
Yeah, they're awesome. It's a lot. Last game of the season is May 30th, Peter. It's August what? What's today? 22nd?
22nd.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of football to be played. But I had to just pick one of the others because I just wanted to pick one of the others. I went with United because they were with their coach a little bit longer than everybody else. That's why. But teams, it's hard to repeat in the Premier League.
It is.
And so all of you guys and I think Dixon did as well, and Lars and you all picked Arsenal. This is what you're going. You're saying first team to repeat other than City since United, I think, right?
Yeah, back in
way
07.
Back. Yeah.
In fact, the last time Arsenal repeated as the champion of whatever top division they were in was like it's either 1937 or 47.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It can't happen. And man, they certainly looked like they were the returning champions and the team to beat this year. I mean, not that Sunderland was great. And one more thing, if I may.
You mean covered?
I'm
sorry. Keep going.
Sunderland, they're a team that just ran away with the championship, right?
Are you talking about Coventry?
I'm sorry, Coventry. Yes.
Now that's the confused look.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Coventry had an amazing season last year in the championship.
Yes, right. Exactly. They ran away with it. So I don't know if they're as prepared to now be the team that doesn't always possess and take it to the other team like they did last year.
Right.
And we found out Hull, and we'll talk about that later, had a very different kind of season in the championship, and maybe their style of play is a little bit more conducive to getting off to a good start in the Premier League than Coventry's is.
Well, I think there's a lot to that. I also think being the home team plays a factor in this, being Coventry having to go to London and play, Hull getting to play in their little fortress is a big deal. Yeah. In fact, I think only one road team lost so far this week in the Premier League. So I think that's really the big story of this season is just I can't even remember a time where we've had 9 of the 20 teams with a brand new manager, and then you add in Tottenham and United, who have managers that came on late last season, and now you're up to 11. And you got to take into consideration City has a new manager. Liverpool have all the big clubs except Arsenal. Yes, exactly.
And I think that's why there's so much uncertainty heading into this year.
But that's and then somebody was saying the other day, because I'm always a big, you don't want to be the guy to replace the guy. And then there was like, well, Klopp proved that. Not Klopp. Slot proved that wrong. Right. Well, no, he really didn't. Because what Jurgen Klopp left behind was this highly functional, ready-to-go thing. And Slot didn't have too much to do. And then when he tried to make changes and had some obstacles, it all fell apart. And the Pep City situation with Maresca is very different because it feels, in kind of a weird way, more like what United was when Sir Alex left, a very fractured, kind of broken roster that needs a lot of work. And you can see City doing that much faster than United was back, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was. But I think it's going to be really hard for Maresca this season. I think that's going to take time. I think it's going to take Areola time at Liverpool.
For sure.
All of those things. And we saw, and I still think Carrick has a lot of work to do, and obviously De Zerbi has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, right. And we'll talk about those games. I don't want to jump the gun. And Chelsea, they finished 10th last year.
Yes.
And now they have a new gaffer.
100%. And you and I, over the last 12 years, have talked a lot about consistency. And consistency is a big factor for success on a league-in, league-out basis. And this is not unique to soccer. This is true for any sport. But just trying to start, especially when teams change systems and styles of play, all of that is a big deal.
Yeah, and that's why so many, including you and Lars, picked Arsenal to repeat.
Yes.
And I get it. Now, what I'm thinking about is, A, I wanted something different so that we don't all pick Arsenal. But 2, there's some tweaks to the rules, and not the rules. Rules are always the same. There's some tweaks about how the rules are going to be enforced.
The application.
And particularly as it pertains to set pieces. And Arsenals are the masters of set pieces. And we talk much more about this because in one of our segments, we're going to drill deep into this manuscript or document that came
out.
Handbook, thank you. That came out from the Premier League about how that all that's going to be enforced. But I think Arsenal will be affected to some extent by that. Now, we saw... What did you think of their set pieces against Coventry? What did you think of their set pieces?
Oh, they were great, and in fact,
they were just very straightforward and matter of fact.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Right?
Oh, Coventry. I'm sorry, I was thinking of
Arsenal versus Coventry.
Yes,
Arsenal set pieces.
Yes,
keeping in mind what Arsenal brought last year in terms of set pieces. They were short passes out of corners, just your regular lobs into the right.
Yeah, the handbook very clearly has all the language we've been wanting to hear from the Premier League and what's now called Pro Ref, saying, okay, we heard you. We see the problem we had last season. Now we're going to address it. And so far, through the 5 or 6 games we've had so far in the league, there really hasn't been a lot of controversy around set piece play.
No. We'll dig. We'll dig. I have some observations about that and why. And when it's going to be applied. But I just think, we didn't really see how it was going to affect Arsenal because I don't think they needed to have any kind of particular set piece.
No, yesterday was relatively, was not a big challenge for them.
Yeah.
And we'll see as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of what we have seen so far in terms of how the 5 or whatever number of games we've had so far have been officiated and refereed, I think is a pretty clear indicator that all of the messaging and guidance that came out on the handbook yesterday, and by the way, for people who are confused, yesterday it's called Pro Ref now, came out. They're the organization that heads up all the referees in England, put out for the first time that I can ever remember a public version of the handbook, which is all of kind of the guidance that says this is how we want you guys to do this in running games. Typically, it's an internal document. This time, they've decided to show it to the world. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it adds transparency and visibility to what they're telling referees and how things should be enforced for the first time. And it's interesting. But I don't think, like today, the games we've seen so far, I don't think we've had a situation where we're really seeing how it's going to be enforced.
No, we haven't had that one really significant. There was a moment in which game was it I was watching? It may have been the Brentford game where somebody's jersey was getting pulled pretty clearly, and then they were like, sorry, you started it. You pulled it first. VAR told the referee it was very two-way, although and it just kind of went away.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to start to see a lot of the change, especially from last year.
So verdict is still out to see how Arsenal gets affected by this. So Arsenal looked really good. Everybody that picked them to repeat, all you guys look really good. It's a long season.
So you remember when we did our wacky predictions?
Yes.
And so my wacky prediction is Arsenal's going to win this one by so much. And again, wacky predictions aren't saying this is going to happen. This is a wild scenario that may happen. And mine was Arsenal will win the league this year by so much that it actually ties or breaks Manchester United's 17-point distance.
The margin of difference in points between first place and second place, you're saying, is going to break the record. And you're saying that...
Tie or break.
Okay, fine. But you're saying that because all the other teams that have a chance
are going to
take a while to...
One, they're going to take points from each other.
Right.
And already, look, I mean, Spurs and United were teams that everybody was feeling really good about.
And
both of them were universally favored to win today.
Yeah.
And both of them looked awful.
Yeah.
And that's a good stopping point. Yeah. Yes, United and Spurs, very hyped until today happened. And we'll talk about that next on the Kicker. Yeah. Daniel Robertson will join us here in about 30 billion minutes. Sorry, 35 minutes. As he is just chomping at the bit to talk about Serie A. And so we'll do that with good old Daniel here in a little bit on the KickAround. Welcome back. The Premier League is also here. Arsenal wins yesterday. Also on the scoreboard today as a debutant or returnee to the Premier League, Ipswich got a very nice win over Sunderland today. I actually watched that one on the Goal Rush. So Ipswich looks like they could be fun to watch. Sunderland, I had them 15th in my total prediction because I think Europe's going to be a drag, but they haven't really played. They're not in the meat of the European part of their schedule. So dropping points at Ipswich today is a bit of a surprise for me.
I've seen Sunderland picked to get relegated in a poll or two, you know?
Yeah, some people think that the shine of the first season then with the boat anchor of a European schedule may do them in.
Yeah.
We'll see. And
you know who else I've seen in a poll or two get picked to get relegated? Hull City. They're bad, man. Hull, right?
I will get to that in a second.
Hull is bad. Oh, we don't want to talk about Hull?
We're going to let me get to the rest of the little stuff first. Not little stuff, the other stuff. Let's see. Glasner with Forest, his new team Forest. By the way, we haven't talked about the oddity of Oliver Glasner leaving Palace to go to Forest, the team that pushed Palace out of the Europa League last year.
That's true.
And all of that controversy.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
They were the only home team this week to lose as Leeds, Daniel Farkas Leeds,
last minute goal.
Really nice free kick, by the way, end up winning that game 1-0.
I've also, speaking of Leeds, I've seen them get picked to finish pretty high. Top 10 in a lot of polls. Where do you have them?
I have, in my total list, I have Leeds at 13th.
Okay, not bad. Solid mid-table for you, but, you know,
not as
bad.
high. I've seen them top 10 for some people. Yes.
And I think you sent me this, the optimism scale.
Yes, the fan optimism scale.
Number one, Leeds. 90% of fans are optimistic about this season, which is really high.
Yes, but you got to make sure you understand the context of what an optimism scale means. It doesn't mean you're optimistic you're winning the league.
No, just about how your season is going to go.
You just think and for a team like Leeds, that could be coming in 6th and qualifying for Europe.
Well, 6 would be fantastic.
That'd be amazing. Speaking of Palace, Palace. I'm worried about Palace.
How did you? There were 3 9:00 games, so I don't know how you consumed the games.
I was watching Goal Rush.
Okay, so you had one game on, and then every once in a while,
I started with the Palace-Everton game, and then I thought, Andy's watching that, so let me watch Goal Rush, and then that'll give me.
How do you know what I was watching? I actually was watching 2 games. That was one of them, and
about Vivaldi,
and the Ipswich was the other one. I interested in Ipswich because I'm the one that picked them to get saved, that not get relegated.
2 TVs.
But iPad and a TV. But I was interested in the Everton Palace game, by the way, and I have something about Everton. Chris Richards, his starts for Palace.
Yes.
In the back.
Yeah, well, now they've got some changes. They lost Lacroix. They lost the center back to Chelsea. No, wait. Who bought? Was it? No. Arsenal bought that guy, didn't he? Somebody. God, there's been so many players.
Clearly beaten on that second goal. Did you see it?
Yes, the cross. That was a perfect cross.
It was, but it went
Chris's hair, as big as it is,
right.
It could have been twice as big, and he still would have misjudged that, mistimed it. No, Palace were not good today. Everton were solid. Dewsbury Hall with a stunningly good goal to open the goal scoring.
Are we sleeping on Everton a little bit?
Yeah, because you know what I have? I have Everton 15th.
You did, yeah. Very mid-table. I did too. And I'm thinking, are we?
I had Palace 16th.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah,
that's a good slot for him.
Yeah, Everton ends up winning that game 2-0, and Thiago Barry, the young guy who just was, everybody really wanted to root for this poor kid last season, but he just was his own worst enemy when it came to finishing with a really nice goal on the goal that Chris Richards missed.
Yeah, he didn't mistime it.
No, he did not. He made a really nice run into the box and finish off his head, and Everton get a home win 2-0 over Palace. And then the rest of the games of the day. Let's start with the morning game. Hull back in the Premier League. By the way, the new Hull home kits are so nice.
They are.
Throwback. And then when the sun popped out, I noticed that the black is actually kind of like a black-brown, like a really old school, like 1940s brown tint.
The Tigers.
Very, very good.
Tigres. So I wanted to talk about Hull and how bad they are and how everybody's picked them to go down.
Again, if I have looked at 30
so
predictions.
Who did they play today? Yeah.
If I have seen 30 predictions, Hull was predicted to come in 20th, myself included, probably 28 of the 30 times.
And all 30 to go down. I didn't see one where they're not going down.
No.
So today they got off to their Premier League season playing
Manchester United. High-flying,
right.
Highly hyped Michael Carrick's new Manchester United.
Who I picked to win it all.
With Andre Santos and Tillemans in the midfield. Andy picked them to win the whole damn thing.
Their brand new midfield pair acquisition.
And they got absolutely pants today. 2-0 at Hull. The first time United have ever lost to a newly promoted team in the opening game of a season.
Also to Hull, period.
And the first time they've ever lost to Hull in the Premier League. Correct.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Can I just give you my synopsis?
Yeah. As a United fan, I'm delighted.
100% credit to Hull. Because Hull came out and they executed their very straightforward game plan to perfection, while United had a far more complex game plan that they just were not up for executing.
Complex game plan.
Their little bitty triangle passing, trying to break down a low block. It's just, at some point, guys, just get the ball forward and let's try to do something else, because when you're trying to do what United was trying to do against the team in a very well executed 5-4-1, United got within 10 yards of the goal, and Hull would have 6 guys in the box and a goalkeeper.
This is what I'm talking about. Hull, low block, plenty of experience coming from the championship doing that. So they're transitioning just fine, right, into what they're going to be doing all season long in the Premier League. What worries me about United is not so much I don't know, the 2 new guys didn't look great.
Oh, Tillemans had a terrible game. Andre Santos?
Yes, also.
Oh, I just think he was more quiet. I think Tillemans had objectively bad game.
Yeah, okay. What worries me is the way they just came out so flat. This is on Carrick.
100%.
This is on Carrick.
Yeah, and I do think it's these types of games where, as a fan, the thing that we all talk about, how we admire how calm and just stoic he is on the sideline, no matter what. His heartbeat never exceeds 60, no matter how bad or good the game.
Yeah, that could be good.
Becomes a bit of an annoyance because you want to see a guy jumping up and down. And we'll get to the Spurs game here in a minute.
Yeah.
Part of what worries me about United is there's nobody out on that field that is jumping up and down and causing a scene when they just are flat and letting a team like
a
Hull,
leader? On-field leader, you mean?
Yeah. Well, I know they've got leaders. I mean, Harry Maguire's a leader. Bruno's. But today, like we saw with Spurs, they just let a couple of easy set-piece goals in, and nobody was losing their mind and really trying to push the team forward. And that maybe something I'm a little worried about, just kind of the attitude so far. But overall, I picked United to finish fourth. I still think they'll finish in a Champions League spot, but this is a really essy way to start a season.
Yeah, and Bruno not having – he was a little bit better in the second half, but just in the first half, almost invisible, not being his regular self. I have a question for you. Rashford coming on, I thought gave the team energy, and he tried, yeah.
But how many times did Rashford try to dribble into the box and got easily dispossessed, which was the thing that was driving me nuts when he was here the last time.
Yeah, he got fouled one time, set up a good free kick. But yeah, okay. I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, I want that guy who's making $325,000 a week to start beating guys on the ball.
Yeah.
You know?
I just thought he brought a little bit of energy that they didn't have.
He was way better than Dorgan.
And wide play, which they didn't seem to have.
They missed a mod today. Now they've got the Baleba deal essentially locked up. Man, that's an amazing book of a transfer window for United if they end up getting Tielemans, Santos, and Baleba on that same team at the same time. I'm not worried about United long term, but it's these types of games that you and I are talking about. Teams that are under change are going to have games like this. You just don't want them for game number one.
By the way, Hull, last time, their last season in Premier League when they got relegated, I don't know, 8 years ago, they won their first 2 games that season.
Hull was so good today. They played direct. They defended like heroes. And if they play like that, if they keep that up, they'll stay up this season.
Last time they got relegated, they won the first 2 games of the season. It's a long season.
It is.
Hull is going down.
Now, what about Spurs? 2 seasons as 17th in consecutive seasons.
So you thought United was poor. Like Spurs was...
Well, the best thing that happened to United today was Spurs at Brentford.
That was bad. Brentford, good. Like, I hate sometimes to, like, when a team gets spanked like this, it's like, oh, my God, they were terrible. And then you take away from the team that was actually really good,
right?
Which is
like
in
Hull.
This case, yeah. But Hull was good in a different way. Brentford was good today.
Brentford was good with the ball.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well put. And they were fun to watch, and I'm excited for their season. I think you picked them 8th, right, or 7th, maybe. I don't know.
What did I have?
I
had them 8th.
Yeah, I only picked through 7th.
I had Tottenham 7th.
Yeah, well, I had them 6th.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Brentford, man, you can't not love this club, the way they go about their business.
No, that first goal. Sangare, by the way, was probably the one player out of all the additions in the league this year that I'm most fascinated to see because that guy came with so much hype. And on that opening goal, he kind of starts the sequence. He has the assist. I mean, he literally starts 5 yards outside his own box and makes the assist 5 yards into their box. And it's a beautiful team sequence for Brentford to score the opening goal. They probably should have won this game 4-0. Thiago missed the PK.
Who I picked to win the
golden boot.
Yeah. Spurs, man. They spent so much money to get back into the top 6, get back in Europe.
With all the signings, they've spent like close to $300 million or something ridiculous. And then they line up with Conor Gallagher as the 10.
As a 10. Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, was he there? Did they have the ball enough to even know he was the 10? Yes, he was playing as the 10, but.
I think the big concern, if I'm a Spurs fan, the big concern to me is the very clear lack of understanding of what everybody's supposed to do and kind of the body language.
That's what when you stopped your sentence, I was going to say body language is bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
It wasn't great for United, but it was flat out bad for Spurs.
And that's a real issue for the coach.
Well, and because De Zerbi is such a hard ass.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how this how this kind of goes over the course of this week. Like, what do we hear from him in his post-game press conference?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, especially.
Does he blame the players or himself?
This
or
is
what?
a big moment as a manager.
Yeah.
You know, today Carrick's post-game was very kind of like nonchalant. Hey, this is just one game.
Yeah.
Some things worked, a lot didn't. Hall credit, blah blah blah.
He said it was difficult to go play a recently promoted team on the road.
Yeah, shut up. De Zerbi, on the other hand, has got a bit of a temper and a personality, so we'll see what we get out of him. And to be fair to Spurs, they're still missing a ton of guys. Pedro Porro wasn't in there.
Yeah, fair.
Van de Ven. They got a couple of other guys.
Richarlison played.
Pigeonhead.
Yeah. Man.
So,
well, sorry, Lars. This is Lars's team. Sure,
we didn't hear much from Lars today, did
yeah.
we? No, we didn't.
It's a long season. We should not overreact to one match, right? But if there was an overreaction that's warranted a little bit, is probably this one.
Okay, coming up tomorrow, Brighton and Villa at 8 a.m. That's an interesting game. Unai Emery's got some stuff to catch up everybody on as they got rid of a bunch of guys. City and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting
one.
Yeah,
it is. Will they rebound from their spanking at the hands of Arsenal in the what was it? Community Shield.
Yeah. And Bournemouth with their new manager and all the change, and how is that going to float?
Mm-hmm.
And can he keep up with the Areola thing? And I don't know, man. I mean, would you be? I mean,
are they in Europe?
No. I don't think so.
I'm looking it up while you.
And then the big one, Andy, the one that you're all antsy about: Newcastle hosting Liverpool at 10:30.
I'm not antsy about Liverpool because I don't have great expectations. Where did Liverpool fans sit? Do you remember sit in the?
I don't remember. Oh, in the optimism
yeah,
scale?
I think it's pretty low, right? And just, it's...
Look, we said this last week. I think because it's Areola and the way that he plays and the demanding style that he plays...
It's going to be hard.
And his history tells us that when he starts a new season, especially a new team, they tend to start slowly.
The cherries are in Europa League.
The question is, if you start at Liverpool the way you started with Bournemouth 3 or 4 years ago... Will the fans in the front office put up with it?
Winless in 9 matches? That's
Yes.
tough. They're not going to change this manager this season.
You don't think so?
No.
So if they go winless in 9 matches,
they're going to stick with him.
they're not going to see if Jurgen Klopp's
It helps
available?
that he already went winless in 9 with the cherries. By the way, Bournemouth is in Europa, so the new guy is going to have to deal with playing in Europe as well.
Newcastle is I have no idea what to expect out of Newcastle this year.
Yeah.
Newcastle, I mean, I think it would be a surprise if Newcastle finished like in a European spot. I think that would be
top 5 would be a surprise, but 6, no.
No. Man, dude, they have lost so much talent.
Yeah,
and they didn't go a long way in
but
replacing
they're owned by a
it.
country.
Yeah, but
they
that's
have resources.
The thing. But they haven't used them.
No. That's the other thing is picking before winter. The transfer windows are done. There's a game on Monday too, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. Corby's Fulham, soccer curious Corby, his Fulham is hosting Chelsea. Fulham, a team that you and I both picked to get relegated. Boy, much to P1 Eddie's dismay, so mad at us.
There are a lot of Fulham fans this stateside.
Yes, and then Chelsea, another one that I just don't know.
Picked them third, Peter.
I picked them second.
That was bold.
Well,
we believe in Chelsea. You know, they won the World Club Cup.
How will they pull it off without Todd? So big first week in the Prem. Some of it underway. Let's see if Andy can join Dixon on the winner bracket tomorrow with Liverpool at 10:30. All right, when we come back, we'll move on and let's get into a lot of the other off-season drama that happened, specifically a documentary about one Jose Mourinho next on the KickAround. In shocking news, Major League Soccer is proposing to revamp their playoffs again.
Again.
And we'll talk about that here before the end of the show on the KickAround. Welcome back. God, it makes me laugh so much. Man, this has been, again, I always forget how weird the transfer from post-World Cup life to a new club, league season life is. Because typically you come into a new insert favorite soccer league here season and you're excited. You've been absorbing news and predictions and observations and transfer stuff. But when you're coming off a World Cup, especially one like we did, and doing the show and all that, you just kind of go into a soccer nap.
We did for 2 weeks, didn't we?
Yes, and you don't pay attention too much to the transfer window. You kind of hibernate.
It just seems a lot more insignificant after a World Cup.
It
That's
does.
all.
It does. But it's not.
It's
but
not.
It does.
No, it's not.
But
obviously.
then you come out of hibernation and you come out of your
The
soccer
cobwebs,
your soccer cave and you're like, holy crap, Man City sold Rodri. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah. Alexis Sanchez went to Montreal, for example.
Man, where is this list I had?
Did you hear that?
Say that again?
Alexis Sanchez to Montreal. See?
Alexis Sanchez is still playing?
In Montreal, in MLS.
I know.
Your MLS.
I know. It's quasi. All right. How many times do you think in the history of your soccer watching can you think a player has been sold for more than 100 million American dollars?
5.
In the last 6 months, 160 Morgan Rogers, 160 Elliot Anderson, 140 Jan Diamante,
What is going
120 Sandro Tonali, another 120 same team Mateo Fernandez, 100 million Bruno Guimaraes.
That's the best deal out of all of them.
That's
there.
just in the last 6 months.
I know.
Bruno Guimaraes is like 28, 29. $100 million for a guy you're not selling on is a ridiculous idea.
Fair, but out of those guys, that's the best value, I think, right? If you're not looking at sell-on opportunity, but you're not going to sell any of these guys for more than 100 mil. You're not going to
maybe
get
Morgan
that money
Rogers
because he's so young.
Because he's young enough. Yes.
Yeah, that's an astronomical amount of money.
But you said
him.
5, and there's 6 or 7 right here in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's been so much movement, and so much of it is so weird. We just mentioned Spurs. 2 guys, $240 million.
Yeah.
They're talking about buying Savinho from City. And then I also saw that they may do a double deal that includes Marmouche in that. Have you seen that?
Yeah. So how does all this work out? Like, I thought we had checks and balances and things
They
in
do have a
place
new system,
that
which
doesn't allow all this stupidity to happen.
I'm sure somebody
that clubs have to
we call
spend
Miguel
within their
Delaney and let
means.
him explain it to us.
Don't teams have to spend within their means?
Well, but a club like Spurs probably has it. It's not like they've been blowing out cash in a long. I mean, it's not like they've spent wildly in the last several seasons.
No, I guess, and it's a 3-year rolling average.
It's a 3-year rolling average and all that stuff.
That's true.
Now the word is that United have finally gotten a deal for Baleba from Brighton. We were talking about a few minutes ago. City is buying Bouati, that young Moroccan player.
Yeah.
He's that
good.
kid could be the next Rodri.
Yeah.
And they're not getting him on the cheap either.
No, and Pep's going to coach him. Oh, wait, no.
No. So many things. And by the way, Barcelona's buying Anthony Gordon for $92 million.
To replace Rashford.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy deals.
And Barcelona, this is the other thing. And how much did Barcelona spend? We talked about Rodri. How much did they spend for Rodri? 40, 50 million, something like that?
It's right here.
And because he's
69 million.
69 million.
Yeah.
69.
Yeah. So Rodri's a crazy one because initially the idea that City would be willing to sell off a World Cup champion in a season of change.
The MVP of the World Cup, by the way.
Yes. and let him go. And initially he was going to go to Madrid.
Until somebody got in his ear. You know who that somebody was?
Gee, let me guess.
One Pep Guardiola that said, you want to go to Barcelona.
Help me get over on Jose Mourinho one more time.
So it's Pep's not even coaching in La Liga, and he's already getting under Mourinho's skin.
Did Barcelona even need him?
No, because they have Barcelona. What they have are Rodri's in the making coming out of their, and And
so does
Madrid
Barcelona
really wanted him.
Okay, so does Barcelona make that deal happen to keep Madrid from getting?
Of course, 100%.
Yes.
And so many things come out of this signing is like, how does Barcelona keep spending all this money when
They sold off, yes.
2 years ago, they couldn't spend $1. They literally could not spend $1. And now they're spending all this money. But what is fascinating is that now Mourniho has gone back to La Liga, which got started, like we said, this week or last week, whatever. And what a soap opera this season is going to be with Mourniho now at the helm of Real Madrid and Pep Guardiola influencing what Barcelona does. But just Mourniho going back to Real Madrid. Like, what is going on here with Madrid? I mean, I guess they needed somebody to kind of just calm things down, right? And which is ironic that they brought in Mourniho to do that. But that thing was a mess, emotionally or organizationally.
Well, this is a good time to mention the fact that there is a new 3-part documentary on Netflix called Mourniho. Now, I'm going to admit right up front, it is unabashedly a pro-Mourniho production. There is so many elements to this that I am being hypocritical about.
What do you mean by why? What do you mean hypocritical?
Because when the U.S. men's national team documentary came out on HBO, and I was super critical because it didn't talk about the Giovanni Reina incident, and it really shined the situation. Well, the Mourniho document, in the same vein, is very shiny.
I don't know. I think it's just Mourniho. Like, did you come out liking Mourniho more or less, or having any kind of different thought of what he's like? No. He is who he is.
I think a little bit about the backstory that they try to impart about him and his dad is interesting, because I didn't really know that whole... Like, I didn't know Mourinho's dad was a football manager.
Okay.
I never knew that.
All right, so there's a little background showing about his upbringing and all that.
But there's also a whole incredible long list of awful Mourniho acts that don't even get touched in this documentary. But I will say this. My favorite part of the documentary is, one, it just digs into all of the things that I did love about Mourniho when he wasn't my manager. Mm-hmm. The things that initially drew me to him, because he was just so unlike every other manager that you'd see week in and week out, along with some of the best, most classic and epic footage of important football matches that occurred
it's very well
in
done.
My adult soccer watching life.
The production value is really, really good. I think it's a really well done documentary. I don't like Mourniho. I think he was a good and successful manager for a spell. I don't think I think the sport has passed him by is such a cliche statement, but a little bit, like his methods, I don't know how well they work, and he's been brought to Real Madrid to restore order. I think a little bit is more about restoring order in the locker room, not so much on the field. He's got to manage a team of stars, and maybe he'll be successful with that. But they only focused on his career with a couple clubs too, like 3 clubs, right? Like his spells at Chelsea and
Chelsea, a little bit at United, a little bit at Inter. Run at Inter.
So a lot of the things that happened after he left, Inter was first. That was his peak. Then Madrid, they covered that, and then covered Chelsea. Those are kind of his peak moments. They didn't cover the second half of his career too much, right?
No, because he hasn't won a ton. No.
Right, exactly. Right. So, you just saw peak Mourniho.
I'm curious when all of this production was going on, because the signing with Real Madrid a second time is tacked on at the end, and I'm assuming all of this was long in the can before we found out he was going back to Madrid.
Because I read something somewhere that then they added that at the end. So, to me, it's fascinating that he's going back to Madrid.
I mean, we all look at each other and go, what the F? This makes no sense. He's not done much lately. And why, with all the other people you could hire, why would you bring him back?
Are you going to pay more attention to La Liga now? I think I am.
Yeah.
So that's the power of Mourniho, I guess.
Yeah. He
love him,
is
hate him.
A weird draw.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other frustrating part. This week, another documentary came out called A Beautiful Obsession. And it is a Amazon Prime production but it's not available stateside yet. And I still have not seen a release date in the United States for this. And it essentially is a documentary in the locker room of Pep and City over the course of the last at least season or two. And they've been releasing clips of this. Have you seen the scene of him and Kyle Walker getting at it after they lost a game? And Kyle Walker's like, stop calling me.
Yeah.
Every time you call me out specifically. And Pep gets emotional.
Yeah, I think, off air you described it as a fight between those two guys. I wouldn't call it a fight. It was a parent-child moment.
Yes,
and
I shouldn't call it a fight. It was a very kind of tense disagreement in the locker room.
But I thought it was interesting how Pep, instead of like arguing or just lashing back out at Kyle Walker for saying that, tries to show him like, no, I also called out this guy and I also called out that guy. And that what Pep was trying to say is, you're my family and you are one of my more important kids.
Yeah.
And it's like Belichick and Tom Brady. Like, who would Belichick call out the most in practice? It's Tom Brady, and it's the same idea.
There's another scene that's made the socials of him going on impassioned speech that he talks about getting divorced from his wife and about passion, and I don't want good players, I want passionate players.
I have a question for you because there's a lot of drama involved whenever the camera is on Pep in the locker room.
Yeah.
And he knows the camera. They all know the cameras are there.
Of course.
Who acts more for the camera, Mourniho or Pep?
That's a really.
I think Mourniho is just Mourniho, and he knows he's kind of a.
I think he's always on just because he knows.
Mourniho?
Yeah.
Mourniho's
or do you think that's just him?
That's just him. He likes being that person. He likes being that person people hate. Pep, I think, acts a little bit for the camera.
Yeah, I
think he does.
Yeah. You know who hates the Mourniho documentary?
Who?
Lars.
Because he hates Mourniho.
No. I mean, I got a dissertation on WhatsApp after he watched it about how awful it is and what a shine job it is and what a terrible person he is. And he doesn't
they left
deserve
some things out, I guess.
And people like they're trying to make him into something that he's not. I mean, Lars we should have Lars on just to go on about that documentary.
I don't like Mourniho. I thought it was a good documentary. I thought it showed who Mourniho is.
I think Lars would make the case that it did the opposite,
or not enough.
No,
not enough.
I think he would.
You came out of that documentary thinking, man, Mourinho's a good person.
No. I think Lars's contention is that's what its goal is to do.
Okay,
is to shine Mourinho.
All right.
Yes,
I'm gonna.
I hope Pep. I hope we get to see the Pep thing very soon.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic. By the way, do you know what team has the Amazon cameras in their locker room this season?
United?
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see the first episode.
Because everybody today is like, Carrick is being way too stoic. And Carrick even said, look, I'm calm here, but that doesn't mean I'm calm in the locker room. I guess we're going to find out.
We are going to see what that halftime was like.
Yeah. That'll be not like it did any good.
As they said on the show, like how many teacups were thrown at halftime.
Hair dryers?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Daniel Robertson will join us, and we'll talk all about Serie A next on the KickAround. We didn't do it at all during World Cup KickAround. It's America's favorite soccer segment known as The Dribble, and we'll do that in about 20 minutes or so next on the KickAround. But first, muy importante stuff. On the Diamond Factory Ticket Hotline, we revisit and get back with our good friend Daniel Robertson to talk all about the pizza and the pasta. Ciao, Daniel.
Ciao. Molto importante.
Daniel, come sta?
Molto bene, grazie. It's been a while. I don't get to practice very often, so.
How many years ago were you an employee of Juventus?
2018.
Good Lord.
Fall of 2018. Time goes fast, man.
Good Lord. and now you're like on your 13th marriage and you've got, 7 children? Something like that?
Hey, do some math. Something around there. Yeah. So give and take 5 or 6. But no, you guys were talking about Mourinho, or not Mourinho, Guardiola. And, they wanted him to be the new Italian national team manager.
They did.
Wasn't he very close to doing the deal and then changed his mind late in the game?
They did.
That depends who you talk to, but they hired Maldini basically to run the whole thing after missing the World Cup for the third straight time. He says, okay, I've got Pep on the hook to come coach the team. They say, no, he costs too much. And then Maldini says, okay, I quit. So they're kind of back to square one.
So they're back to square one. That was going to be my parting question to you after you talk club soccer. I was going to ask you about Pep and Italy and not making the World Cup.
You mean the Italian National Soccer Federation can't go find benefactors to pay for a big-name national team coach?
How the tables have turned.
Well, sir, we are now into a new Serie A season itself. We have winners and losers already today and more games tomorrow. Why don't you start us off with whatever you would like to get into, Mr. Robertson?
Yes. No, it's really going to be a fun season ahead.
Do you promise?
So the first things first here, for people new to Serie A, it's all on Paramount Plus, CBS Sports. If you subscribe to Paramount Plus for the Champions League, you're going to get Serie A as well at no extra cost. So you should definitely tune in as the season started today. Inter 4-1 winners. I don't think the drama is going to be at the top, guys. Inter looks like they're going to run away with the title again. Italy, just like the national team was struggling, the league last year pretty much hit rock bottom when it comes to Champions League. Only one team made the round of 16 in the Champions League last year. That was Atalanta. They got beat 10-2 by Bayern Munich. The champions Inter got dumped out by Bodo Glimt. So nowhere to go but up for Serie A teams, both in the league and in Europe. But yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of new coaches, a lot to talk about.
Why, Daniel? Why is that?
What's wrong with Italian soccer,
Yeah, what's
Daniel?
going on,
Come
man?
on, Daniel.
Let me tell you, first off, when you look at the owners, and look, this might be a reason to not like Italian soccer or a reason to love Serie A. When you look at the owners of the teams, they don't say things like investment group and hedge fund and things like that. It's names. It's more names than
Kelly Ripa's
faceless.
husband.
Yes, Kelly Ripa's husband. It's not nameless, faceless organizations. So
there's a reason for that, though, right? I mean, is it just hard to make the business work in that football culture?
Yes, you have to be, I think, it has to be a passion project. It can't be a hedge fund. And if you look, there's a lot of American owners in here in Serie A, and obviously Canadian as well with the Saputo family in Bologna. But, there's the Friedkin Group who owns
Roma.
Everton. Right. They own Roma. Kyle Krause and his family own Parma. There's the Camiso family who own Fiorentina, who we'll talk about in a second. So there's a lot of names and just to give you an idea of how maybe Serie A is a little bit cash poor, Como, one of the best stories of last season, they're coached by Cesc Fabregas. They have some great names. Nico Paz, who is like the 20-something Argentine number 10, touted as the future of kind of the replacement for Messi. They qualified for the Champions League last year. They can't even play the Champions League in their own stadium. They have to play it. Apparently, they're going to play over in Sassuolo Stadium. We might have listeners, by the way, who have been to Como this summer. Hopefully, it's a beautiful place. You go to Lake Como. The stadium is right there on the lake. I've had people go, and they tell me, this place is a dump. That's kind of Serie A in a nutshell.
The stadium is a dump, you mean?
Yes, the stadium is a dump, not the city.
Not the city. Okay, yeah. If you went to Como, by the way, what dish should you get?
Well, anything in Lombardy with Milan, you're going to be, of course, talking about the Milanese.
One of my faves.
Como is a little bit closer to the Alps, of course, so you're going to get a little bit more mountain influence, a little bit more cheeses, a little bit more honey, that sort of stuff. But you can't go wrong, of course.
Okay, love it.
Still the reason why we're doing this.
Yes. Serie A food.
Daniel, if I have to take another week off because I got to get another part replaced, will you come sit in for me and you and Andy could just do a year-round for 2 hours?
We will do a food show for 2 hours.
Yes,
if you're okay with that, Daniel.
There are so many great places. We can get you around Dallas. There's some great Italian food in Dallas, too. I mean, we could talk about it all day. But obviously we're here for the football still, the calcio, excuse me.
Because I have I've been reading up, Daniel, and Andy and I are big Fiorentina fans.
Yes.
Go Purple. And
Violetta.
It looks like they've put together quite a superpower team this season.
Yes, I told you, Peter, we need to talk Fiorentina because last year was a tough year for the Viola. And you remember, they've been pretty good, like decent. They typically finish right around 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe sneak into Europe. They made it to, I think, the semifinals of that conference league a couple of years ago. Last year, things kind of bottomed out. They were close to relegation, which would be unthinkable. But they made some moves, and they've spent more than any other team in Serie A this season. They signed Pellegrino, a forward from Parma who scored 10 goals last year. He's kind of like maybe a future Italian national teamer. But the name they signed that really caught everyone's eye was a guy named Franco Mastantuono. Franco Mastantuono is an 18-year-old Argentine who Real Madrid bought from River Plate last year for like 50 million euros. He went over way too young, wasn't ready for Real Madrid. But now they've got a number 10 that could be one of the futures also of the Argentina national team. So they spent $100 million. They're going to be an exciting team to watch. And they're coached now by Fabio Grosso.
Fabio Grosso!
Fabio Grosso. Anyone who remembers one of the iconic moments of the World Cup when Italy beat Germany in 2006, he was the one who scored that curled goal and then runs off like shaking his head. His Italian hair is just flopping in the wind. An iconic moment from the World Cup. He's coaching your beloved Viola now, so got to tune in.
Man, if anybody goes to Florence, not only should you go eat all the good food and get a kick-ass jacket, go to a game at that cool Art Deco stadium. It's so great.
Yes.
You know what else?
And they're doing – yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say another thing we learned. But no, you first, Daniel.
Oh, I was just going to say they did some nice renovations to the stadium. So I think it's still got that Art Deco feel, but they were working on it the last couple of years. I think now maybe you can get in the stadium a little bit easier, which would be nice.
Yes.
I think we learned, Peter, that our team in Serie A are the Spurs, the equivalent of Spurs. They finished 15th, spent a lot of money to get back into Europe, a nice new shiny stadium.
Let's see.
We're the Spurs of Serie A.
Let's see.
They just signed Dragosine as well, so they do have a Tottenham player on the roster now, too.
And they open in Rome at Roma on Monday.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Hopefully they don't get crushed like Spurs did.
What else, Daniel, before we go? Anything else, sir?
Yeah, just Americans in Serie A, of course, checking in on those guys. It feels so much different now, post-World Cup, talking about, like, the Americans in Serie A, because who even knows what Weston McKennie by the next World Cup, he'll probably be playing for, like, some MLS team. Christian Pulisic, who knows,
some MLS team.
New York. I wasn't going to mention the one here, but these guys, it's like Weston, Christian Pulisic, they may or may not be in the national team picture in 4 years. Certainly they will.
Oh, that's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it happens quick. Life comes at you fast. But this time last year, I was saying Weston McKennie might be leaving Juventus, and Luciano Spalletti coming in as the new manager completely revitalized him. We saw him play well in the World Cup. A lot of that was down to Spalletti, so he's got a new contract. He should be at Juventus for at least another year or two. Pulisic, who knows? That seems to change every year. But two names to watch for. Gianluca Busio, if you remember him, from MLS. He's still young. I think he's like 23 or something like that. He's basically the captain of Venezia now, who got promoted again this year. So Venezia is back in Serie A, so he'll be back on the pitch. And then Benji Cremaschi, who had some good minutes with Inter Miami, young American. He started getting into the lineup a little bit at Parma before he got hurt late in the season last year. So Busio at Venezia, Cremaschi at Parma, a couple of young Americans to watch who could factor into the next World Cup.
Hey, Daniel, are we going to see Juve get back in Champions League in my lifetime, or is it something
what are you doing?
Or is it something
he'll not come back if you keep doing this to him?
Oh no, bad! It's just been so long.
You just had to slip that in there. Just kick me while I'm down. Juventus last year not even in the Champions League. The stain of Cristiano Ronaldo seems to it just won't wash off
won't go away.
Juventus. They did sign Mourniho, who was there, had a really good loan spell a year ago, went back to PSG. I think he was playing in the Premier League last year, wasn't he? And then so they re-signed him. Excited about that move. It could be a tough season, though. Spalletti, I think, can get them into Europe, but I am keeping my expectations very low for my Bianconeri.
That is our good friend Daniel Robertson. Happy pasta and fussy sports cars to you, my friend.
Grazie mille, ragazzi. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, Daniel. Ciao, Daniel. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do one more segment. It's the dribble next on the Kick-Around.
Ticket.
Very good. By the way, Carter, last week you successfully identified what surgery or what part of my body.
With a completely random guess, too. Nobody told me.
I had surgery on. You successfully and correctly guessed it. It is my ankle. So you were with your friend over there said, "What does he deserve a prize?" Andy?
Yes, and I promised you a prize today. So
I get my pin?
Well, you'll get a choice. I don't think we've decided. You want to do this now or wait until the very end? Okay, so there are three. You have three choices. I can tell you what the three things are, or I can make you pick behind door 1, door 2, door 3, and you leave it to chance.
I believe in fate.
Okay.
Let's go with the door's choice.
Okay, so I'm going to show Peter door 1, door 2, door 3. Okay?
Which door are you picking, Carter?
Let's go door number 3.
Door number 3.
Oh, boy, you've got a cozy winter coming up for you, sir.
I believe this is probably the more valuable of the three. You won a Trinity FC scarf.
A Dallas Trinity
way.
scarf, your very own.
Can I fanfare
scarf.
myself? I'm going to do it.
Yes, go ahead. Congratulations. Can I fanfare myself?
You can do whatever you want, Carter. You're
Carter,
you're behind the controls, man.
Trinity has a game at the Cotton Bowl tonight against Carolina at 7:30. You should go to the game.
I just might do that.
Okay,
This
you
is
got a
very
scarf.
kind. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Is it ever
Carter.
revealed what was behind doors 1 and 2, or
No,
we
we'll save those for the future.
That's a gift so nice, I'm going to fanfare myself twice.
It's time now for America's favorite soccer segment. It's the dribble. Turn up the there we go. Thank you. All right, let's run through this with a bit of pace. Friday, something happened that I think is remarkable, and that is what was formerly known as the PGMOL, which was an acronym for something about professional game management, something, which is essentially the organization in charge of running all the referees in England. Over the summer, rebranded into Pro Ref. That's what it's called now. Historically, every year, this organization puts a series of guidelines together that they release internally to the referees and staff saying, hey, here's addressing some guidance and thinking about how we want you to do this in these games and call these games. Well, this year, remarkably, they published it to the public, and it's a 123-page handbook. If you know me at all, you know that I stopped my entire life and did nothing but read that for the next 3 hours. Twice. In fact, I wrestled because Bob Sturm had asked me to write another Premier League season preview for his Substack, as I have done for the last few years. But I was dreading it because there are so many previews out there. How many more times do you need somebody to tell you Arsenal is going to win the league? And then this came out.
Little Peter, will you come up to the front of the class? And go ahead, yes.
And I said, you know what? I have something I want to write about. So I read the 123 pages so you don't have to.
Mr. Sturm, I'll do it for you. Yes.
You're so jealous.
A+, Peter.
And if you would like to read the resulting article that I released this morning, you can find it over on Bob's Substack, and I'll put out the Twitter. I'll tweet it out on our KickAround Twitter account as well. And now Andy is giving me a hard time, but you also read the entire handbook.
I did. Because, I mean, my world in which I work, in the world of football, soccer, I am exposed to this a lot. When we do competitions and new competitions, the start of a new competition or league year, whatever, there are always updates to rules, things that they're going to enforce. So I am sometimes charged with providing that information to the teams and players at the start of the competition, right? New World Cup cycle, qualifiers, new things will be enforced. So the language contained within this document, I find very interesting.
It's familiar to you.
It's familiar to me, but I find it fascinating that it has been released to the public, and it's so detailed and extensive. And I think it's commendable.
It is. It's very transparent or transparency-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally a part in there that talks about where how many and where the extra balls are to be placed along the sideline in the game.
But this is the kind of info that is given. I've shown PowerPoints where we've shown this. This is
what match official Andy does on a regular basis.
So it's fascinating to see it now, just like here,
yes.
world, like you can see it.
But I thought this was smart on their part on the heels of probably what is the most controversial Premier League season that I can remember because of how things were or were not officiated over the course of the season. In moments that we all just looked at each other at fans and went, wait, they let that happen? Like, that's how they call... So much confusion last year. And clearly... the Premier League and Pro Ref has heard the fan base and the players and the managers and baby Jesus and said, okay, we heard you. This is how we're going to move forward.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like, oh, we heard you just last year. I think ever since Howard Webb came back and took on this role, they've been working on this.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
And now we're at the point where they can show something.
Well, here's what's fascinating because obviously the biggest controversy last year was set piece, defending, attacking, specifically corner kicks. All year last year, we did nothing but complain about the rugby scrums and how this is not football, this is not soccer, this is ridiculous that we're letting everybody get away with it. Not just Arsenal, but a lot of people were doing it. But Arsenal, ironically, I will point out, in the handbook, in the section where they specifically get into how they're going to manage this, the first part of it's called holding, and every section has an accompanying photo. Well, in this photo, right off the bat, it's a photo of Arsenal doing all this in the box.
And you know that was like...
It was totally... That tells me they've got a good sense of humor, and I dig it.
It's this initiative. This is the reason, one of the reasons I picked Arsenal and finished second. I'm like, okay, maybe it does hurt them a little bit. But it's nice to see... The key is, will it be enforced past week 3 and 4 and will kind of fade away?
Now, they took this kind of set-piece defending thing. They broke it into 3 parts. Holding, holding challenges and
getting
obstruction.
In the way. Obstruction. Yeah.
And there's 2 things I want everybody to take away from this. The definition between being in the way and getting in the way.
And so this is where the pick comes in, right?
Yes.
And so is a pick legal or illegal?
Yes. Non-footballing actions, those clear moments where defenders or attackers are like lining up against the goalkeeper and their only objective is to impede the goalkeeper. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff they're really going to they claim. Now, here's the caveat. It was literally 1 year ago this week that Howard Webb was quoted in multiple English media outlets saying, we're cracking down on holding in the box, and it lasted for like 3 weeks.
But you know what the difference is?
They wrote it down.
That this is now public.
Yes.
So now, in week 8, do they want somebody saying, well, it says, right? They don't want that, right?
No. What will happen is that people like me will screenshot little sections of this and put it on social media and go, Mr. Webb, could you please remember why you wrote this in a document?
Okay, what goes hand in hand with that is that a few weeks ago they also stated that they are going to publicly disclose decisions the committee makes, or not decisions.
Yes, the weekly report.
It's all going to be public.
KMI or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're going to hold themselves accountable. All this is super interesting. Again, let's wait and see how it shakes out. But I find it...
There's a lot of how the sausage is made in this document that if you're just a random Premier League fan, I think you would find this interesting. I highly recommend. It's free to download. It's a PDF. It's really well done, and I think you'll learn a lot out of it. And in fact, what I think is you'll end up being the smartest person in the room as the season goes on.
Because you'll be able to say, "Oh, this is because of this." Yeah,
exactly.
A couple interesting things. One, it's been talked about: VAR intervention, higher bar now, right? Clear and obvious errors.
I think the whole documents theme is less involvement. Unless I think right off the bat they go back to the original clear and obvious error theme that VAR started with, and we have way gotten off track from.
I think that can be a good thing if they follow that model. The other thing is with these fouls though in the box, it insinuates that if a goal is not scored, they may not call it.
Yes.
If a goal is scored, that's when they're going to enforce things.
Yes. Yeah.
So are we okay with that?
Here's what I think.
I'm okay with it.
I
but,
think a lot of what we saw them try to do in the World Cup with officiating, which is don't get involved unless you absolutely have to be involved, which is a very old style of officiating soccer games. I think they're going to try to institute here. I, by and large, enjoyed how the guy on the field called World Cup games. It was VAR's weird thing that I think really effed up a lot of the little parts of the World Cup. And I think the Premier League is coming a long way at scaling to the right level. We'll see. Yeah. So far in the first 5 or 6 games, I thought the referees have all been great.
Another thing I found interesting, just this is a super nerdy thing on my end, the effect of playing the calculation of added time and how they're telling the referees to do it.
So what's the number one thing new people say, or people who don't like soccer?
Yeah.
We don't understand the clock. This is all shady. In the document, they literally list out how much time is added for each individual thing, like substitutions.
Injury, penalty kick, red card.
Fascinating stuff. Yes. I've never seen that actually put in a document released publicly.
I don't think it ever has, ever.
No. So go check that out. Go read the thing over at Sturmstack. Also, real quickly, happened this week. The Guardian broke a story that Major League Soccer is once again debating reformatting its playoffs. Now, Major League Soccer's been around for 30 years, 31 years. How many different playoff systems has it had? 29?
Yeah, it's
28?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I get tired head and I get beaten down with the changes in the playoff. And I know why they've had to do it because things keep evolving and number of teams and structure and all that. You're about to tell me you're good with the proposal.
Well, so this is based off how they do playoffs in Australian football. And it's an interesting idea. Let me say why. The first and most core issue Major League Soccer has created for itself is that it's a 30-team league. And when you've got 30 teams trying to build a regular season that includes playoffs, that builds some sort of suspense for a majority of the teams late in the season is difficult to do.
Meaningful games.
And this new structure, which includes a format of a bit of what's called double elimination, which you're probably familiar with college baseball, but essentially the highest 8 teams out of the 20 that would participate have the opportunity to lose a game and continue on.
How easily explainable is this format to somebody that is new to the league or new to soccer?
It's not as easy as you would want it to be, but I would argue that there is no easy playoff structure that then also gives you the benefits of jeopardy at the end of the season.
Right, and so I guess that's what we have to decide between. I choose less jeopardy and a simpler formula for the playoffs so that the casual fan can just follow the playoffs.
I agree. I don't think this system is as difficult as people. I mean, people were trying to chat GTP these flow charts on it the other day, and they all were ridiculously
it was very wonky,
way too complicated. It's not as difficult as people make it out to be. Is it more difficult than home and away legs in a 16 in a 20-team bracket? Yes, but there are pros and cons to all of it.
Okay. Maybe just take single table and the top 16 teams make the playoffs, and then you just...
And for all of you banging on your dashboard screaming promotion relegation, you're getting it. You're getting it with the USL in 2028. Congratulations.
Well, that's the timeline, right?
That's when USL Premier starts.
I don't know if that's the solution either. whatever. It just things can get really complicated.
FC Dallas plays again tonight. Petar Musa, their striker.
Dude, he's awesome, man.
Leading the league in goal scoring.
We should talk more about this.
Yeah, we do.
But 6 points in 2 road games, not too bad. Now they're clearly, speaking of the playoffs, they're clearly in the playoff picture.
They're fifth or sixth right now. Yeah. But here's the problem. I don't know how good they are. I really honestly don't. Petar Musa is unbelievable. He's so good.
He's put the team on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes what it's all about.
Yeah, 100%.
So, okay.
All right, we'll talk more about that later on. All right, so there you go. There's your favorite segment, the dribble. Look, Michael Dixon, we made it through another episode. We're only a little bit late.
You guys were great.
Your team won yesterday.
They did.
Congratulations. Carter, who's your team?
So I did the wheel last year with Dylan, and I picked Aston Villa.
Oh, good for you. Well, you got a game tomorrow. Let's see. We'll expect a full book report.
Big Ollie Watkins fan here.
Well, I hope they didn't sell him off to Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Thank you, Cam Lafata. And thank you, dear, sweet, clean P1s. We love and adore you. Go on out there. Get stuck in. Win your 50s.